once again. The Dave and Dave Show. I got to bring the energy because I give you an opening and you didn't even jump through. It's like back in the day when I was a running back, it was fast. A lot of you don't know my Al Bundy story. They retired my number. 100-year-old school, Port Jefferson.
They did.
100-year-old school, I was the only number to ever be retired.
And I had to sit in the bleachers and have all the scouts come up to me and say to me, will you consider your son going to this school? And I would say, he's his own man. If you want him, go talk to him.
So when you're a running back, for those of you not football fans, the quarterback gets the ball and they hand it to you. And the hole opens up. And if you don't make a decision quickly, the hole will close. It's like a window of opportunity. So a lot happens in 1 second. You get the ball, you bring it in, and you look. And then you got to hit the hole. I opened up the hole, and you didn't hit the hole.
You
didn't hit the hole.
A lot of times when the hole was closed,
I went through anyway.
You went through anyway.
Went through anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Or you go around. So we got a lot to talk about today. We got basically two quick parts of today's. The major thing we're going to talk about is this market as far as buyer fatigue, buyer agent exhaustion, where we're at. Like, I know we talk about this a lot, but the market is evolving and changing on a weekly basis.
If you are not paying attention like we are, you wouldn't even know the changes because they're so slight.
Exactly. So the way we do things is we do monthly statistics here at the Nest, and we also do weekly. He is actually our statistics guru. He loves getting in there and looking. So we've seen some trends. Not alarming, but some interesting, some much needed space. But I want to talk about the little nuances of what's changing or what has been changing in the market. Now, we don't have the May stats yet, right? They're going to come out soon. Are we anticipating, first of all, a higher average or median price?
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Think we're going to hit the 380s?
Yes.
So for context, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when we got the April stats. We had hit 375,000 median price. The month before that was 363. The month before that was 357. We started the year at $345,000 median price. So 10% growth in literally 4 months.
And I believe the reason it's going to go up in this month coming up, because it's the month past and buyers were paying above appraisal. So when buyers pay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 above appraisal, of course the median price must raise. So that's why I believe it is.
So we may be at 13%, 12 to 13% growth in the first 5 months. Come July 1st, are we going to be at 15 to 16% growth in 6 months?
My answer to you is yes. I believe that 15% will happen in 6 months. But then that's where our nuances are coming in. And when people are asking what's a nuance, well, here's what's going on.
It's a distinction. It's a slight change.
And that's what it is. We have a slight inventory
So let's just talk about we do weekly stats.
We do weekly stats in the city for
Single
our
family,
terms,
right?
it's single family 101 to 606. For those of you,
that's gone. You realize you're not going to be able to search like that soon.
No, I know. But for those of you, it's basically Henderson, North Las Vegas.
You're not in Boulder City.
We're not in Boulder City. We're not in Pahrump.
Nye County.
Right.
Gotcha.
And
so it's literally greater Las Vegas area.
Right. So the lowest single family was like 1925.
It went under 2,000 units available.
And we were all shocked. But now, every week, 150, 60 more listings.
Which doesn't necessarily matter, because that's only part of the context of the story. You also have to take into account how many houses are going into escrow and selling.
And it was interesting that this week there was 4,080, which from the high was like 4,480. So 400 less in escrow, 500 more in inventory. very minor through the weeks, but in a 4-week period, the trend has gone this way
I would
in
even say this
inventory
way, yeah.
and this way
Yep.
in an escrow. Very
Gotcha.
minor. If you're not watching it, you're going to get 15 offers today on a house and go, damn, the market's stronger than ever. But that is not true. The next thing.
Wait. Don't
Go ahead.
jump. Don't
I'm
jump.
a jumper.
I didn't market it this, not when I say market, I didn't write it like this, but peak or plateau? That's an interesting question. Are we peaking where like this is actually going to be the high, or is it plateau before it goes up again? So I don't know if we have that answer for you. Regardless, it's one of them.
And I'm going to go with plateau.
Plateau.
Yeah.
So plateau before it goes back up.
No, I didn't say that.
So you're going for but after a plateau, there's no stagnation, my friend. So
I know.
That's part 2, growth and alignment, right? But there is no such thing as
All right,
stagnation.
I'll go
because when you plateau, it's a break.
I like our words today. Plateau, I like that word.
Plateau.
Yes.
So when you plateau, it's either the break before you go again, right? Or you go down. Then it would be the plateau would become a peak. So do we look back and say that the summer of 2021 was the peak? Or was it just we're not even in a plateau yet, but would it be the plateau? And what I mean by this is we're seeing, agents are asking me, what do you think? I'm listing this house, how would you list it? And I'm giving them the 7 to 10 day rule, which is a new kind of thing I've made up. The last couple of months, you put it on the market, there's multiple offers before it's even fresh, right?
I agree.
And people are making offers before they're even seeing it. There was much more urgency. Now it may sit 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 days, and then all of a sudden, when you think the market has peaked, you get 5 offers. Right. So there's like a 7 to 10 day delay on some inventory.
I think days in the market is going to go up.
Maybe in June, not in May.
Right. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the reality we're living in right now.
Gotcha.
Not so much the stats. I think days in the market's going to go up. We're going to have price improvements.
Price reductions.
Not because the values are going down.
Because people think they're sitting on gold and so let's give some context on this. I saw a listing I'm very hesitant to tell agents to be part of these huge real estate groups online because 9 out of 10 of the posts are garbage.
Yeah,
but
ridiculous.
Every once in a blue moon, there'll be a decent post where you can get some information out of it. You just have to know how to discern between it. Well, one of them was, I made an offer for my client on a house listed at $725. I put it at $725 offer, right? Clean offer, no contingencies, super clean deal. The seller and listing agent countered at $8 or $775. Well, guess what? 25 days go by, still on the market, they still don't get their price. Well, they listed it at $725, but the market had this expectation of listing it at $725 and getting offers above. That is when, I don't want to say greed, but let's just say rational exuberance or optimism is a little bit too high when you're actually getting what you're asking for and that isn't good enough and you don't have any backup offers to back up that price. I think that is a great little context to explain that you can't just put it at $725 and expect $800 or $775 anymore.
And I'll go with my main way of speaking.
Main way of speaking.
There may be
what is a main way of speaking?
It's not your fancy way.
Okay.
There may be houses. I do Red Rock, right? Because it's where I live.
That's where yeah.
And it's where I study. There may be houses now that are sold that if they were on the market now, they would not be sold or getting the prices they got.
So if that's the case, then you think we're peaking.
I do.
So now you're changing, but maybe only peaking in certain markets. So let's bring one up. Reverence, for instance. is
Woo,
you want to
that
talk about
market is on fire.
you want to talk about a peak, right? So Reverence started with, you can get like 1.8 backing a beautiful mountain view. Then it went to 2.2 a mountain view. Then it went to 2.3, not even just backing an interior street, gorgeous.
Right.
Reverence is peaking.
Well, the thing about Reverence versus all the other communities, it's a new community that was built up to, how old would your house been now?
I think I moved in 17 or so.
So 4 years old. So where you go into Red Rock, everything has to be
It's 20.
updated, right?
Same thing with Mesa Ridge on the south side.
Right. Reverence, you could move in. So the prices you're paying at Reverence, like
No. You're seeing it at Topaz Ridge, Sterling Ridge.
No, what I'm saying is Reverence isn't a dumpster city. So people say, what do you mean by that, dumpster city?
See, that main way of talking, I like dumpster city. Because at
Okay.
first I thought it was something else, but now I know where to go.
So when you drive through Red Rock Country Club, you drive like this. And the reason you do is like in one block, there may be 4 dumpsters.
Because they're gutting the house and renovating it from top to bottom. Because it needs a little facelift. It needs a good plastic surgery, and then
So
get it
you
all
wouldn't
good.
see that in Reverence because the cabinets were new, the flooring
Yeah.
was, so that brings a higher price because they don't have to do the remodel.
Oh, and that's so when we say this, it's just again little nuances. Like you may get no love on coming soon, and then the first weekend it's actually listed, you're getting prices that are blowing people out. So we're not saying that it's ending. We're just saying there's things to keep an eye on, and some of it I believe is buyer fatigue. Buyer fatigue is a real thing. How many times can a buyer actually lose out on a home
and not want to quit?
and just be like, forget it, it's not worth it? Buyer agent fatigue, for all you buyer's agent out there, I feel you, the struggle is real. Stay motivated. Same thing with buyers. If there's a plateau, this is the time where we talked about it. You got the ball, there's going to be no window of opening. You got to hit the hole, right? So buyer fatigue, buyer agent exhaustion is this like, I'm just sick of dealing with them, right? Now,
I don't want to pay $40,000 over appraisal, and there's a fatigue.
There's some situations where you have to give in earnest money just to look at the house.
Yeah.
Or you have to release earnest money just to get into escrow.
Yeah, and you don't know what I'd say
Some of
about
these
that.
deals, like, you just got to walk away from. It's, if you got to give up too much, it's like a relationship, right? If you want the prettiest girl and she has all these demands, you got to step up for yourself. You can't put her on a pedestal. You got to have an advocate for yourself. Like, enough is enough. So, listing agents, let's talk listing agents.
Listing agents.
Listing agents, you're not God.
Listing agents.
And this is kind of the game. Common decency. I've been saying this for 4 months. I've done multiple videos, personal videos on my personal page. You got to play the long game. Be careful. The feet you step on today may be connected to the ass you have to kiss tomorrow. I say that all the time. Plus, it's just the right thing to do. Accept offers a little bit quicker. Protect your clients, but get the best deal in. There's a way to be an advocate for your seller without being a prostitute for the best deal. And what I mean by this is with this 7 to 10 day delay, what I've been noticing is listing agents have been promising the world to their sellers. Like, we're going to put it on for a ridiculous price, and you're going to get multiple offers immediately, cash, maybe even over list, and we're going to be able to pick the best situation for us. And then when that doesn't happen,
which it isn't,
they freak out because they over-promised and under-delivered. So what I've been noticing is listing agents will call a buyer's agent and say, hey, the deal that I put in escrow when I was double ending it was a BS deal. It's falling apart. Can you bring that offer back?
Yep.
And then when the agent's like, yeah, of course, and they bring the offer back, 2 or 3 other people come in with another offer, and now all of a sudden you're ask the buyer's agent to bring the offer, but now you got these other offers and you're baiting and switching. You're not necessarily even doing it on purpose, but you were in a position of scarcity because you promised something to the seller. You put this poor buyer and this buyer's agent feeling like they got a shot. Oh, sorry, prettier offer came by. I know I said I'll go to the dance with you, but I just got a better option to the prom. That's not cool. You got to treat your people. You got to remember that you may be the listing agent on this one, but you're going to be the buyer's agent on the next one. Sellers, for you non-real estate people out there, you may be the seller, but if you're selling your house, there's a very good chance you're going to be the buyer on another one. Or you're going to be looking for a rental if you think you got to cash out.
Treat them like you want to be treated.
Golden rule, baby.
Yeah.
Super simple, but we lose in this fear of missing out, this FOMO environment. I think we lose perspective. And that's where realtors, you're the consultants of real estate services, you're the professionals, you're the therapist. This is where you come in and earn your commission, your consulting fee, keeping everyone rational and being the professional in the deal.
Also, when you're comparing your house, especially I'm talking Red Rock, it's my market, the model that's totally flip renovated, which we have a ton of flippers in Red Rock,
Yep.
They get one price. The model that stained the cabinets and did new floors, that's nice, but they don't get the same price. So you can't say, oh, model ABC got $1 million, so I'm going to list it $1 million because I did floors and painted my cabinets. They are restructuring the house, restructuring the rooms. They're getting insane money.
So it's a difference of like you at your age, 30 pounds lighter with new teeth and a new wardrobe versus no new teeth, 30 pounds heavier and this shirt. Which one's going to get a better price, right?
Am I on the market?
Yeah, I'm just saying, you got to compare apples to apples, baby.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I got one thing going.
You got some money.
And I got some teeth.
How does it go? You lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds for every million
My
you
value
got?
goes up.
Yep.
And so does longevity. And so does other things.
So, oh boy, there you go. We are there.
No,
we didn't put part one. We only put part two. Okay, escrow stagnant. So stagnation in escrows is not necessarily a bad thing. We're still trading a good amount of houses. But if we start seeing it's a creep. It's kind of just like a creeping.
You're calling me a creep?
No, it's like a creep.
Like a creeping vine?
Yes, like a creeping vine.
Okay.
Slowly going up, slowly staying a little. So yeah, if we start seeing, listen, we are miles away from a normal market. We don't even have a month's supply yet. So even if we were at 4 months supply, we would still be in a strong market. But it is interesting to watch the game. Now, I have the conversation every day with my wife. She hates it. Poor Angie. I'm like, if some moron is willing to give me $2 million cash for this house, we're out of here. But the reality is, right?
You just finished the backyard. Yeah, that's you.
Actually, we have the baby gates going in on the pool. We got everything going, right?
Well, with DG, I would too.
But here's the thing. Like, first of all, where would we go? Am I really going to rent? And I'm locked in at a 2.88% mortgage. So even if I tried to play the game to pull out all my cash, somehow inconvenience my whole family, then
Which is a growing family.
Right. Wait for the market to change if it's going to. And not only does it have to change, it has to change significantly enough for me to buy back in at a discount and bank on the fact that I can get a 2.88% rate, which I don't know if I'd be able to do.
And a lot of people did that in 05 and 06 when they saw the market going down. They sold at the high and they rented.
Yep.
And it worked. It did work then. I don't think it'll work now.
Well, you don't know. Rent's going to continue rising.
Our house is going to keep going up. If they plateau, are they going to take a dip? That's the future that no one could predict. And if anyone is on screen telling you that, then they're lying.
They don't know what's going to happen. Because
right,
it all comes down to pretty much two things. Really, the government's going to control this whole thing. The Fed.
Right.
Are they going to stop buying bonds and our interest rates going to go up,
now,
which they're connected?
I watched on TV yesterday a market report, and they said inflation is...
They said?
Yes, the TV people.
The TV people.
They said inflation is going up. Now, when inflation goes up, then you have to raise the interest rate. If the interest rate goes up,
Or they have to print more money, so they have
I
to
don't
make a
think
choice.
they're gonna print any more money. I think that part is done. So I think they'll raise the interest a little bit, which may slow down the market again. That being said, that may be a healthy thing because we'll have more inventory and the buyers will maybe back off a little bit and the rationale of the market may come back, right? It may steady, right?
Listen, it comes down, if you really want to break it down to you want to distill it or deconstruct it down to the smallest level, is how confident are you in your job and how much money you're making a month and to pay your mortgage. Because I have the conversation with my wife, and this is real conversations, is like, so I lose X amount of dollars in equity. Was I doing anything with that money anyway? I wasn't, right? Obviously, I could pay my mortgage for the rest of
And
my life.
I think I'm
but
living proof of that roller coaster, right?
So here's some other things that I want to talk about. Work from home may be ending. So voluntarily in some cases and non-voluntarily in others. I think people may be pulling their workers back.
An example of predictions, it's a great point. They said, oh my God, the day of people working in the office, now that COVID came. But I think what the people missed was the people connection. And I think people want to go back in and have that connection to other people. And I think people will be going back into offices. Another thing they predicted that was a wrong prediction. They said Vegas is going to take a year to get back up to 50%. We're at like 80% already.
Yep.
And it's a month. So predictions are great, but it is a prediction. Just like we're talking here, we're not guaranteeing. Vegas is booming back. I don't know if you saw the traffic going home yesterday. Woo! I'm glad I wasn't on it.
It is going to be an interesting game moving forward. That being said, I am looking forward to a strong, more balanced, hopefully plateau market where buyers can buy and sellers can sell and houses can trade hands and people aren't irrational, because there's just so much emotion in play right now, and when it's irrational like that, bad things happen.
You know what's crazy where your point is? Like Red Rock, something came out, not on the golf course, under $1 million. And everyone said, oh my God, that's so cheap, it's under $1 million.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
I had two people call me and say, do you want to buy it together? I said, no.
Buy what together?
That house. That $1 million you were talking about.
Oh.
What was it?
I was talking about a house that came on La Madre Ridge for under $1 million.
Yeah. And they were like, it was $1,020,000. Was the one that come out at $1,020,000?
Not that I know of.
Then it was the La Madre Ridge one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you don't know your inventory.
You bet. I wouldn't buy that house in a million years, but it sold in 2 days.
Under
$1 million in Red Rock.
But is that not the California effect?
Yes, it is.
Where you're like, I don't care what it is, I can get it under $1 million.
Right.
I'm buying it, and that is when you get caught.
And you know
Because
what
that house in an A market is what, 650?
700. You know what the amazing thing of it, Dave? After they pay the highest price ever,
Yep.
the dumpsters I was talking about,
They come.
They're ripping out unbelievable tile, travertine or wood. They are ripping out window coverings. You name it. Kitchen that you just redid, they're ripping it out.
Yep.
They are spending money at a point. We should give up our real estate license and become contractors.
Yeah.
Because the contractors, they're like, oh.
I'm learning right now, we're trying to do some work on the Summerlin office, and it's tough to find
impossible.
people.
Impossible.
It's definitely a legitimate issue. Now, we talked about this last week, but it's worthy to bring it up again. Supply chain issue, right? So when the supply chain comes back, are we going to have a glut of stuff? Now, the builders have held back because they can't sell these fast enough, because they can't actually deliver a product, because they're a year out to 2 years out.
It's insane.
To 3 years out,
It's
right?
insane.
Even if you wanted to buy a custom lot somewhere. You're talking about a 3-year plan now.
Someone told me, what's the builder that's sort of contemporary? I always forget their name.
Blue Heron?
Blue Heron gave him a delivery date of like July, and they already backed it to January.
Everybody, Toll Brothers is a couple years out. They have to. They have no choice. Like,
I think the lower end track homes are delivering.
not
more.
necessarily, if you
No?
because they're not. I've had some conversations where they have to sell less because they'll get too backed up. That's how insane it is.
Well, because it's hard to get workers, material.
exactly.
I mean, material. I still, so you guys know, I'm still waiting for my washer and dryer.
Are you really?
Yeah, they gave, God bless Lowe's, shout out to Lowe's, gave me a lender. But I ordered it November before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Impressive, huh?
So what's also interesting is we bought one of those day beds that's covered with like a wicker. You know, it's like
Oh, the outside furniture.
Yeah.
Like a club lounge.
exactly. You could fit like a bunch of people in there.
The girls will love that.
And we were worried that it was going to come in before we finished our backyard. 'Cause we still have to paint the cool deck.
Yeah.
And Living Spaces reached out and said it was already an 8-week delivery. They're pushed back 3 weeks. I mean, during the pandemic, Angie and I ordered outside furniture from West Elm, and they
Came in a day?
No. At the point, no, it was 6 months behind. And then we finally actually canceled the delivery because they pushed it. It was going to be a year. So this is an interesting game, and the prices are
Well,
going.
I'm not canceling my delivery because my set that I bought for $650 each, I went into the store and they are now each appliance that I paid for, same model, are now $1,000 each.
All right, our good buddy Azim just made an interesting comment. Hold on. Basically, he put, I literally just got off the phone with another agent talking about buyer fatigue. Homestead got 20 offers a month. Homes that got 20 offers a month, a month and a half ago are now getting 7 or 8. Listen, I agree. It's not, it's just not as intense.
It isn't.
Plus, there's going to be less volatility because people got things to do. You know what's going to be an interesting game? Actually booking a hotel room
Yeah.
or going somewhere. Things are packed.
Yeah, because people are crazy to go out. But before we go on, can I give a shout out to Azim?
Sure.
Congrats, Realtor of the Month. And he got up at the general membership and did an art pack speech for 10 minutes. Azim was phenomenal. Thank you for doing and contributing, being a multi-successful realtor and contributing your time to the good of the world.
There
Thank
is
you.
something I call an ideal agent that hits all of our values, from doing the right thing to working hard to continually leveling up. And that's Azim Jessa and his wife Sarah.
They were both there.
And they're actually the best people you can have. Now, this is a great segue into our part 2.
Ooh, I didn't even know it.
So we're talking about growth and alignment in your business. So here's the deal. Azim, for instance, represents what we want to do. As the Jessa Group has grown every year, they've been with us from the beginning, so has Urban Nest, right? And I've been having conversation after conversation. I own Infinite Path Coaching and Consulting, so I do a lot of business consulting, but you cannot talk about business consulting or business without talking about your family, your mindset. Because here's the thing, Pops. Like, for instance, Urban Nest, there was a year in the middle there where we were not aligned with the direction of where we wanted to go. There was a nuance of him going, we're going to be for everybody, and me going, nope, we're only going to be for less people, right? Because you see the best in everybody.
Yes,
And I was like, I agree, but we have to have a standard for people to actually strive for, right? We already had a great standard, but we wanted to raise it even further. And when we were in an alignment, everything else falls apart. So when we talk about this alignment and growth, it is a requirement that in your relationships in life, business, personal, with your mind and your body, there has to be a growth mindset. Because if not, the stagnation is atrophy. One of my favorite quotes is from Shawshank Redemption: get busy living or get busy dying, right? So what these conversations are about, are you outgrowing your situation? And if you're not outgrowing it, it's a problem, right? Or if you're not growing. And so for instance, it is our job as owners of this company to grow not necessarily the agent count, but the quality, the value, the delivering of support, the consulting, the experience. It's a growth mindset. Our agents expect that from us, and we expect them to grow with us. But we also have to be in alignment. So I'm having a lot of
Alignment?
here's the thing. People don't think that their company is a reflection of them.
Really?
Yeah. I think they think
scary.
that I believe you attract who you are. And I believe that you're either being negatively affected by your family, your friends, like you are a product of your environment. I tell people all the time, one of my favorite sayings, show me your friends and I'll show you your future, right? Show me the agents you're around and I'll show you if you're successful or not. Success begets success, right? So that's part of the game of alignment and growth. Also, if you look at our values as a company, the first value is do the right thing. So before we even talk about how successful you are,
Do the right thing.
exactly, we have to make sure they're ethical and professional. And you think about the people we've aligned ourselves with, Christina Chipman, Azim and Sarah Jessa, Jim Fong, Ben Correa, Faith Harmer. I mean, I can keep going, right, of all of them, Margarita. I mean, we have so many quality people in our group. Ashley, Ada. I mean, these are people that when I see their cars in our parking lot, I'm not looking to drive past the office. I can't wait to get into the office to see the people that I'm around. And that alignment matters in everything. So the conversations lately have been around who you're aligned with and are you outgrowing your situation. So also, we've been having these conversations about investing in yourself. So guys, agents out there, I like to have this statement, scared money don't make money. Now these two hear it all the time because they're in my consulting classes, right? This is interesting coming from what's considered 100% company, right? Where we give our agents back most of the money. But what you don't know is we have a ton of agents who are on splits and programs and they're investing in themselves as well, right? So take a hard look at where you are and who you're being represented by, because that is affecting your growth and your alignment. And that is the two things that make a difference in someone's world. Because for you, be successful one way or another.
Why?
Because you had drive, you had hunger, you had an innate ability to do the right thing. You were a natural at a lot of these things. But I would say is some of the companies you've been in the past have inhibited your rate of growth.
I agree with that.
Does that make sense? Part of your journey, right? But the environment that you're in could have put you on a different trajectory. And whether you were aligned, because you had the mindset for a long time of, what am I getting charged?
I did. I don't mind giving money if they show me value, but what I find at a 100% company like we are, that we give more value than sometimes where I was giving money to.
So here's the thing. I want to redefine. I don't believe we're a 100% company.
What are we?
I believe we're a consulting and coaching company to our agents. I think we give broker support, we consult our agents, we coach them, we train them, and we provide an amazing environment for them to go out and lead, coach, and consult their clients.
I totally agree.
Isn't that kind of an interesting
totally
way?
agree.
Like because it's not a commodity. Like we're not the cheapest by any means, right? And we're designed not to be. And I think by creating that abundance versus scarcity, changes the entire game. Am I going too off into
No,
La La Land with this?
I think you're totally on point.
Because there's so much that goes along with, you believe that if you're associated with, let's say, a luxury brand, you would think every agent at that company is a luxury agent who is trained to the gills in luxury sales. When the reality is, they're just hiring anybody, but they're hoping that that brand will pull them up, which doesn't necessarily happen.
No.
Right? That's like going to an expensive restaurant and banking on the fact that it's going to be a Michelin restaurant. It isn't.
And the reason we learned that is when we hired people from those companies, we expected higher and we didn't get it. And that's
Do we have the numbers to pull up? I saw them on the the thing. All right, let's go through this for a second. That's just kind of a humble brag. Okay, we have a thing called broker metrics, and here's what's interesting about these numbers. Okay. Uh-oh, we're having problems here. Hold on.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on. I don't. Uh-oh, it's not coming up. Maybe it's my computer. Is our internet? All right, hold on. It is? It's good? Okay, let's look at these numbers. So, okay. You see these? See these numbers, Pop?
I see them
Okay.
on multiple screens.
So, what do we consider a large brokerage? 100 agents or more is a large brokerage. Now, is there somewhere that says that a large brokerage is 100 agents or more? No.
No.
This is our own thing. I consider us a 5-tool player. Now, some people don't know what this is. In baseball, you hit for average, you hit for power, you're fast on the base paths, right?
Uh-huh.
You can steal bases. You're good at catching in the outfield, and you're a good thrower. You're a 5-tool player.
Thank
right?
God it's just an analogy. I don't think I could do any of them anymore.
So some people, now let's go through these numbers. Now the first number is the average days on market, right? The average for all of Las Vegas realtors is 43, okay? Which is really a good number.
Great number.
Ours is 24 days on the market.
Phenomenal number.
It's a phenomenal number. But that's just part of the context. Then you have, okay, well, maybe they're selling them for nothing if they're getting it so fast, right? Well, no. What we list at, we get 99.7% of list price, which means if you list it for 100,000, we get 99,700.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Although the average is 98, but still, we're almost 2% better than the average. Then you go, well, the low end sells pretty quickly, and it's easier to get closer to the list price if it's the low end. But wait a minute, we're not low end. Our average sale is $442,000, right? So then you go, wait a minute, their average sale is 10% higher than the average price? So we're selling 10% higher than the average price, we're selling 50% faster, and we're selling 2% more. When you put those three numbers together, we're a 5-tool player, right?
It's unbelievable when I saw those stats come out. Unbelievable.
And that shows the quality of the people at our company and the quality of the training and support of our leaders. That's all it comes down to. And that comes back to growth and alignment, and it also comes back to committing to only having 500 agents, to committing to the growth of each person. How you do business matters, my friends. This isn't the world. Yes, you're right. Most agents get out of real estate school, they barely are done, and they're like, I can hang my license and figure it out. 80% of you are going to be out in 2 years. You're just going to be, right? So before you can even join here, if you're a new agent, you need to prove that you can be part-time, you can have another job, but you better be a full-time agent. You got to be committed. We don't take people who are like, I just want to hang my license.
The part that no one really realizes is that we turn our agents away.
Yeah.
And I don't know another company that does that. But because our numbers are locked to the 500, one agent came the other day and said, I'm experienced. I only want to do 3 to 4 deals a year. And we turned them away because we're not letting agents go that we hired under those conditions. in the past, but we're not hiring them now because that would be going away from what our goal is.
Here's the thing. It's not even, if you're doing 3 or 4 deals and you want to commit to yourself and to the company and start spending time and resources and money and invest and no one shows you how to do it, we'll give you a chip and a chair. But if you're happy with that, that's not really our goal. You know, the agent that only does 2 or 3 deals a year, to me, is more dangerous than the agent who does none. At least the agent who does none is just not dialed in, they're not doing any business. But real estate, like most things, is like doing math or speaking a language. If you're not constantly doing it, you're gonna lose your way. Forms change, the market changes. This is one of the most organic, evolving things you can be in. If you lose the market, you're out. You don't know what's going on.
Should I give the hint to the agents that are saying, do you know how many years I have in the market?
Well, we talked about that last week. We showed that they are making more money.
No, I didn't mean that. The hint I want to give is don't start your conversation with another agent. Do you realize I have 44 years in the license? It doesn't validate the transaction.
I agree with that. And you know what? I always say, hustle till you no longer have to introduce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're fairly well known in this industry. Even if I go to a CE class where I may know some people, I'll go to the back and try to hide and not take over the class. But then what happens is the instructor will be like, well, what do you think, Dave? And then all of a sudden it's, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't want to be the guy who's announcing myself as I walk in.
I don't do that either.
Me neither. Like, if you have to do that, then you're doing it the wrong way. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to common decency.
And that's all agents are talking to me. Other agents are saying to them, no, I have 27 years and this is the way it's done. And to your point, they're picking the old way or the old form and not the new. So instead of thinking, wow, I have 44 years, think, wow, what could I learn that's new and better? That's the right mindset.
Well, the right mindset is that I'm a student for life and I should always be learning. Mm-hmm. That's why that absolutely ridiculous Nevada realtors rule or legislative rule to let the old agents not do CE anymore is a load of bullshit. But
did not pick that.
I digress.
I will take no blame or credit. I did not put that.
If anything, they should be going to more classes.
I agree.
So just to bring it full circle, because the theme of this is the entire game. The fundamentals always win. If you take the fundamentals and then you put a new frame of 2021 on it, that's how you win, right? So what am I talking about? If you're going to write personal notes, that's a fundamental. But making sure to back it up with using social media, creating content, reaching out to your clientele through social media as well, that's when you take 2 good things and you combine them, right? All right, the fundamentals of, all right, now you may be texting more with other agents and with clients and not, following that up with a phone call, following it up with treating the other realtor with respect and common decency. You know how easy it is to just send out an email to every single agent who did not get their offer received, and you can copy and paste and just change the names. Dear agent so-and-so and your clients, thank you for your offer. We looked at it. Unfortunately, it was not the one. We understand how difficult in this market it is. We really appreciated your offer. Thank you. Good luck. That doesn't take a lot.
Nope.
But man, you're building such rapport. You're representing yourself, your company, the whole nine. Someone did that with one of our agents, and I reached out and thanked that agent and said, listen, if you're ever looking to make a change, you're exactly the type of agent we would want at our company.
Another thing is if you go in and you go, I'm going to write an offer, and then you write an offer somewhere else, and you're thrilled, yay, my client got the house, everyone's happy. Go back to that person you told you were writing an offer and a fast little text. Hey, thanks, you've been great, and I am not my client is not writing an offer. It just gives you so much validity, because then the next time when you say, I'm gonna write an offer, you go, oh, that's Dave. He said it the last time and did nothing.
Exactly.
So it makes your word or your speech less viable.
Plant seeds. Plant seeds everywhere. Beautiful seeds where, like, it's not going to bloom today. It may not bloom tomorrow, but it may bloom in 30 days.
You mean my lime tree that took 4 years to get?
Listen, you got to bear the fruit. Like, and that's the game. I mean, we could be sitting here and going over all the ways you can entrap people into accepting your offer. That's not the game. Do the right thing, take care of people, add massive value, then you're going to win over and over again. You may not win this time, but they're going to look at your really beautifully written offer with your proof of funds, with your explanation for your buyer, with your letter from the heart, with your lender making a phone call for you saying they're ready to go, with the proof of how much money you can come over appraisal if need be. Like, you're going to dot every I and every T, plus the other agent's going to like you. I'm not saying you're going to win it, but your chances improve exponentially if you come correct, right? And I think people get a little lazy because it gets a little crazy, right?
Agreed.
So, all right, well, parting shots, my friend.
Parting shots. Know your market. Judge your market in buying and judge your market in selling. And if you do that, you will have success. That's my parting shot.
I'm going to go back to show me your friends and I'll show you your future. The saying of you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with could not be more true in every area of your life. If you hang out with 4 couples that fight all the time, you're going to fight all the time. If you hang out with friends and family that are fit, you're probably going to be fit. If you hang out with all millionaires, guess what? You're going to be in the deal flow and you'll be a millionaire. If you hang out with agents who do good business, ethical business, and aren't afraid of work and investing in their business and leveling up, and they're committed to growth, so will you. Where you spend your time matters so much. So take a look around and be cognizant and see what circles you're in. I guarantee they will be indicative of the results that you have in your life. You like that?
I do. And thank God, you see the food part, I'm looking at me and you, I understand.
Yeah, well, that's why you're so youthful acting, because you talk to me an hour a day and I keep you youthful.
How come my beard has no gray?
Youthful, because
And
you
yours-
put an
and yours is
entire
gray.
pound of Just for Men on it today. So
I had to shave it. But, you're the son and you got all this gray stuff.
'Cause this is El Natural.
Mine looks really nice.
My gorgeous wife thinks it adds a ton of character and she loves the salt and pepper.
Oh, the Sean Connery.
Listen, if you could sit next to him, this is what's going on here. This is what happened this morning. He took a whole tube of Just for Men, put it around his face, and it looked like Groucho Marx for you older people out there. Black.
Older people.
And then what he did was he tried to shave it. Now he has things sticking out of every single orifice on his face, because I could see it up close. The breath is good today, though.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. After 3 cups of coffee.
That maybe I just can't smell anything because I'm on so much prednisone because my back is killing me.
Or maybe you have COVID and you lost your sense of smell.
Maybe.
Even
maybe.
after the vaccination.
Yeah, well, hey, if you're going to get it, right? So, well, since we've totally undermined our great parting shots, we'll let you go. You should see what this shirt looks like underneath here.
Stop, don't touch me.
Yeah, good luck. All right, have a great day, everybody. Take care.